There comes a time when muddy waters run rough. There comes a point when a man has had enough. Like a friend who always stands by me, yeah. Memphis knows me, Memphis shows me how this life deserves to be.
The big thing about a show is tweaking it and making it better and better storytelling, and just fine-tuning and fine-tuning and fine-tuning. And I think we fine-tuned and we're done fine-tuning.
The baby is ready to walk.
Yes.
It's really a time that I'm really happy to be at, but also sad because it's at an ending, but it's really the beginning. But very happy that we're here.
It's just something about the electricity. It's something about the moment of being here that is so much fun.
Talk about a journey. Talk about living a dream.
Yes, I've seen it twice, actually. Yes.
I have not seen it.
Have not seen it?
No, I'm totally.
You're gonna enjoy it.
I'm totally like gonna be shocked, and I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Oh, it's Memphis is opening. We're about to tear the roof off of it. They're not ready. Broadway is not ready for this amazing show.
Memphis, come see it. You'll love it.
All right, I'm going. Okay. I'm going to get dressed.
What time is it?
It's like
Places.
And if you listen to the beat and hear what's in your soul, you'll never let anyone steal your rock and roll. Your rock and roll. We going down, we going down.
It's a story about of a man's, a DJ's love for music and how it pushed the world ahead, but also that it was important. It was entertainment, but it was important. We're talking about racism and you know, hate is you're not born with hate, you're taught hate. You know, so if we can teach people not to, through example, it means something.
We both love the story. We both love the music. We both love the history of it, what segregation was, and the horrors of it in the 1950s in the show in Memphis, Tennessee. So we just thought it had an epic background to tell an important American story, and also as a story about no matter how bad things are, art and music and joy can push through all that and really help change the world.
When I was a young boy, my daddy sat me down. He said, son, don't you never go to the dark side of town.
This ain't helping.
I'm talking downtown Memphis. See, that's where the black folk play. And I said, yes, sir, Daddy. Then I snuck down anyway.
So what it really is understanding the root of rock and roll, which comes from African American rhythm and blues. And that in the most Americans assumed that the music that they were hearing being sung by white singers had been created by whites. They were copying songs that had been created by blacks. And nobody knew that. And this is taking you back to understand that path.
She's the best singer in Memphis, and I discovered her.
What?
Who you?
Gordon Grant, RCA Records.
Huey Calhoun, #1 TV and radio man in Memphis.
That's very nice. Man, I was telling your brother, you sing Negro music. The kind of Negro music I think white folks might really like. Have you ever sung this new music, this rock and roll?
Sure. All rock and roll is Negro blues sped up.
Well, that's not exactly true.
Actually, sir,
it is.
This man here thinks that good white folks like you and me stole this music. Can you believe that?
Well, I don't really care if anybody stole it or not, because the fact is the kids are buying it.
Well, I hope it seems like a show about those moments of huge change in the world. The 1950s in the South, as segregation was beginning, was a moment where everything was in play, everything was changing. Not unlike this moment in some ways. Like, I think things are changing hugely right now. I hope the audiences really care about the romance, the love story of it.
What if we could do more than visit?
So be honest. Am I the best lover you ever had?
Yeah, okay.
I hope it ends up being a story about the people who can change the world, who are so passionate about their point of view, the way Huey, our central character, cares so much about this music and wants to communicate that love of that music. Those aren't necessarily the people who profit from it, but the people who have that passion are the people who create change.
Now, if you like the sweet sound of my sweet voice and you want to hear some real music, well, you just call in as soon as you can, because right now there are aliens, evil, ugly aliens, conspiring to take me away from you. So, remember, the name is Huey, rhymes with woo-wee. Now let's, again, a rhythm and blue-wee! Whoa!
I can feel the hurt, I can feel the emotion, the disappointment, and the anger.
Mama told me not to dream big, but Mama lived her life running scared. I am stronger, and I'll fight longer. I'll do what Mama never
I can also feel the hope, and I can feel the wanting to change, and I think that this show shows both sides. It shows from the African American side and from the Caucasian side, you know, the black and the white side. And it makes it one unit. It's like you understand Huey, you understand Felicia, and at the end all you see is love and music. You know, so for me it is a feeling of pride and another look at how far we've come.
Some night I'm gonna hurt you bad. Some night I'll cause you pain. Some night I'm gonna leave you drying, crying in the rain.
How it all started, actually, is I had written the first draft of the script, and I knew it was a story about the birth of rock and roll. And I know a lot of great theater composers, but I thought, God, this is about rock and roll, and I wish it was just sounded authentic. I would love to write this with a rocker, but I just didn't know any. And I think about 3 or 4 months later, I get a call saying, "Hi, Joe, my name is David Bryan. I'm the keyboardist for Bon Jovi, and I just read your script, Memphis, and I hear every song in my head, and I want to know how to write the score."
Joe's face was like sticking out of the page, and I could see all these characters, and he was talking, and then the lyrics were put into the poetry of it and the rhythm of it fits perfectly for songs. And then when I called him up and I said, you know, can I play around with the lyrics? He's like, yeah, just, you know, have fun with it.
Next day there was a CD on my doorstep, and I opened it up, and it was David singing a fully orchestrated rock record, essentially.
Where all the streets are paved with snow. Down on Beale there's a honky-tonk bar. Hear the wail of a blues guitar. Have a beer and drop a dime in the blind man jar.
what I think this hopefully represents is I think what David and I love working together is bringing the world of rock and roll and what that is to the world of theater and what that is, and combining them without compromising either of them, and hopefully making the end result go to a whole sort of new place.
Here comes baby.
You know, I think one of the things about Memphis that I find the most fulfilling is that when David played the music to me, I immediately knew how to dance to it. And you know, sometimes for me to get into it, like figure out what I'm going to do in a show, a lot of that has to do with the music and the vocabulary, the language, the steps, how I move. But with this one, it was easy, and it's never been a challenge.
The choreographer, Sergio Trujillo, and his associates, Edgar and Kelly, they're tremendous. I've gone to theater, as I said, forever, and seen musicals up, down, and sideways. But the folks here, the guys, the girls, I've never seen such extraordinary choreography.
I think more than any other show I've ever done, this is where I feel like I reign, where I feel like this is the most of who I am. I feel like I've really picked phenomenal dancers. You know, it's like I have the A-team of dancers.
Can't stop it, baby. It's so good. Never let you go, baby.
You're fired!
You know, all of them, in their own right, their own little soloists, little actors, little stars. And you know, what I've done is I've gathered all these great dancers on one stage and given them really cool, interesting, hip 1950s choreography. And you know, I feel that we've created a really magical thing. You know, in order for a period piece to be accessible to a younger generation, you have to break the rules. You can't be puritanical about the mashed potato or the twist or the fly or the Madison. You know, how is a young 18, 16, 17-year-old kid going to look at this and feel like, wow, those are some cool moves, I want to do that.
All actors want to do it as well as they possibly can, and you are, if you talk to them with respect and with intelligence and with some degree of compassion, like they hold on to you like a lifeline. And we, in this process, we all the way through previews, we had 5 hours a day, and we would come in for the first hour just with me and the actors, and we would talk through what had happened the night before. We would talk through what was great about their performance and what could be better. And that hour every day, we met in the smallest room in the theater, down in the basement. We had a little sort of circle of chairs. And that very intimate hour before we went upstairs into the big room of the theater, and that sort of little family time actually really bonded us. They're also really, really good with each other. They're really supportive. Whenever, in notes, whenever I would say, you know, great job last night on that one moment, all the other actors would applaud. You know, like they're very uncompetitive and very supportive of each other.
I always, when I look at a show, I always look at a show and say, is it going to speak to audiences today? It doesn't matter what it's about or when it takes place, but is it going to resonate with an audience today? And we feel that Memphis really does that.
It's kind of like that, and it's kind of timeless. I mean, I think it will always resonate, which is the sign of a good show.
I believe that this is one of those magic moments when things were just supposed to happen the way they did. This director, this creative team, this group of producers, it is phenomenal.
After our 8-year journey, it ends today and it starts tonight.
There you go.
So really, from the bottom of my heart.
When you've prayed for this and hoped for this since you were a kid, and to finally be here, it's kind of surreal because you're like, wow, we still have to do the show. You know, everybody's all excited and taking pictures and stuff, but we still have to do a show. We still have to do a wonderful show.
So like everyone's a little clumps around the mics. Those guys are right behind you. You're gonna start here.
Thank you.
We're doing Delray
You heard
lifts
it
on
there.
stage. Delray lifts on stage, everyone. Half hour.
Talk about living a dream. Talk about being blessed beyond my wildest dreams. Talk about stuff dreams are made of. Talk about legend. Talk about pretty incredible. Pretty incredible.
All right, dudes. We are here. It is opening night. Let's take this town by storm.